we're up and running.
All right.
And in that case, I will call this meeting to order, DeKalb County Commissioners. And today's date is May 20th, 2024. Good morning, Dottie.
Good morning.
Off
Hey.
we go.
Well, off we run.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I'll quickly go through some things. The Boston Mutual will be here on Wednesday. The representative to they offer life insurance, and we've had them for a long time. But this representative a couple years ago connected with me. We really didn't have much of a representative. There was an office in Indianapolis, and they just kind of maintained things. They didn't really push or, service things. So he's coming in on Wednesday, and I guess he has a few appointments set up, but I think he will also take some walk-ins if, any of our employees have the Boston Mutual life insurance policies, or if anyone wants to purchase one. We had, with the City of Auburn last Tuesday, combined meetings with the PERF representative, Jeannie Robertson, and so they went really well. I felt we had a really nice presence of, county employees there. Now, we share the same plan, the same PERF plan. However, the city contributes the 3% to the employees, to the DC, the defined contribution plan, and so they contribute everything. They contribute the 11.2% to the pension, and then the 3%. Whereas the county contributes the 11.2%, and the employees contribute the 3%. So that's really the only difference, the only distinction that they need to make when they're doing those meetings. So that's why it's great to have combined meetings, and we save a little time for the rep and save a little time for us too, and still get our employees the information that they need. So that was good. Last week, we also had a meeting with our main IPEP, the work comp inside claims representative. It was great to meet her in person and to give Morgan a little bit more of a history education when it comes to our work comp and dealing with the incidents as we get those. So that was wonderful. And speaking of work comp and safety, the next thing that Morgan will be doing will be meeting with one of our IPEP representatives to talk more about the OSHA logs. We have to keep those when we have incidents, the work comp incidents. Which ones do you log? Which ones don't you log? And then all of the OSHA regulations that deal with that. And so, once again, it's another one of those added services that we get with paying the work comp premium. So we really like that partnership with IPEP. They know what they're doing when it comes to government entities. So that's what makes it really helpful. So we also had a meeting with IT regarding the teams and the sharing capabilities. What we are trying to do is put more of our onboarding online to try to streamline the time that we are spending with new hires in our office. If they can take care of some paperwork outside of, coming in and doing it, and yet we still get a signed copy, I think, it'll benefit all of us. Our time is valuable for everyone. And our department heads want their employee to get started working as quickly as possible. And so we're trying to work with IT on that. And they're doing a great job. Speaking of which, kind of spearheading it are Besa and Olivia. Olivia was our IT intern for several months, and now she is our full-time help desk person. So doing extremely well, and really, I'm very impressed with her, her knowledge, her professionalism when it's coming to this, this project that we're working on. Really happy with that. Another meeting that we had was with Alyssa Clark at the Health Department. When I put out the email announcing the wellness event that we had way back in March, and Alyssa, she hasn't been with us, too terribly long, and she goes, "Wait a minute, those are things that the health department could do." And I said, "Yes, yeah, they are. Health department has been busy. We haven't been able to really sit down and work through anything." So that was way back in February when she got that email, and I said, let's keep the wellness event as it is this year. Afterward, let's talk about it. Can we do something? We have the capability in-house. If we're spending some money to give that to Parkview, are we better to keep that money in-house also? With paying our employees and paying for supplies for our employees, things like that. So we really had a great discussion. They have a lot of capabilities for blood draws and things that we want to do to address those top 3 issues, that we talked about when I gave you the information on the wellness event, the BMI, the A1C, and the blood pressure. So due to the fact that we're not going to run with a clinic, anytime in the near future, we think that might be the next best thing to keep going to try to help our employees be aware of what's happening with their health. And then, of course, our health department is so good at, hey, here's your information. You probably ought to talk to your doctor about this. So anyway, we're just in the first discussions about that. But once again, I'm encouraged. Alyssa has some great ideas, and she's going back to talk to the rest of the health department about their ideas and what we can do. Yeah. On our recruiting front, we have an opening for a bailiff in Superior 2. We've had some decent response on that. Any qualified candidates, their resumes are going to the judge, and so we'll see what happens with that. The Veteran Services Deputy, that person has been hired, and we will see that person in here to be introduced at the next commissioners meeting. Rhonda and I were talking about that. Community Corrections has 2 openings, residential facilitators, so we are actively recruiting for that. Central Communications also has an opening. We're just not actively recruiting for that one yet because we have one person who is in training. So, they kind of like to keep it, to one person. It's easier, the one-on-one. The Sheriff's Office, we have the postings out there kind of to keep things, as I say, keep dangling your line in the water, see who bites. The way that those guys are, they never know when they're going to have an opening, and it takes so long to fill those because of the hoops that people need to jump over to complete the whole process. So we're continuing to do that. We still have the opening for that deputy prosecuting attorney. Unfortunately, we just haven't had much of a response. And we've had the posting in the usual places and then also my unusual places, as I say, with universities, colleges in the area that have law departments. And so just kind of coming up empty, and we'll just see what happens with that one. I feel really awful, but that's it.
I think, is that what Neil's coming in on, though? That situation, right? Neil Blythe's coming in
He is.
with a plan.
PTO request. I believe.
Yeah.
On that, yeah, probably. Let's see. I already told you about Olivia starting as full-time in the IT department. And so the last one is, of course, Sunny Meadows. We have openings, full-time, part-time. We met, Morgan and I met with Angela and trying to create a plan. There are some things that she would like to change with job descriptions, with the actual positions, but you have to go through the process, and we need to change some things with job descriptions, but we could go ahead and hire someone with that and other duties as may be assigned, and let them know during the interview process that we're trying to work through some things so that we could get going on hiring people. So right now I have put the temporary staffing company on hold, and we're just kind of waiting out. When I looked on Indeed, we had 6 responses to our posting over the weekend. So maybe. I know. It's a crapshoot. We have sent notices. I have my. The last time we met, you had mentioned something about talking to churches, and I have a list. I send the posting out to the churches and asking them, hey, could you post this on your bulletin board? Can you make an announcement? Things like that. It's not a complete list of every, church in the area, but I did suggest to Angela that she contact those organizations, those churches who really have an in with Sunny Meadows and who are so kind and considerate and in helping them with donations that perhaps they could really push the fact that we need employees and really get the word out. So anyway, that's about what we have going on right now. We will be, of course, after the meeting at 10:30. I'm hoping we will have decisions, and then June will be busy for HR with open enrollment. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what I have.
I do have a call scheduled with Benchmark this week. Ann's been out on medical leave. She still is. But,
okay.
But we're going to connect by phone. So
Right.
they have some more information.
I would just like to have another plan in place. I don't want this to happen again. This is the last year we had the issue. This year we're having the issue where Angela is picking up the slack with, filling in the hours. Her staff that she does have not stepping up to the plate and even volunteering for, overtime. I mean, maybe they all have, issues that they can't, but we only have just a few who actually do. She's contemplating whether or not she can mandate, and we've talked to Andrew about that. I passed along the information. So I know that she didn't want to mandate overtime, but, desperate times call for desperate measures. So she may have to just call those in.
What happens though if you mandate overtime and they say,
And then they
well,
quit.
Adios.
I know.
I don't
Yep.
need this.
We've talked about that too. Yeah.
So-
Do you take your chances or what? So
That's a slippery slope.
it really is. Yep, it really is. So I think that's why she's holding that in her back pocket.
Yeah.
Hoping that she can get some of the staff to really, step up to the plate and say, hey, we are desperate and we need to do this. And, hopefully they have some, down the line. We do have a new employee who started last weekend just for the summer, but even just for the summer will give us a little cushion. Hopefully we can, get people fully staffed.
I assume she's short-staffed, that she's got some extra money in the kitty to pay this overtime?
I have asked her, last year I asked her to get with the auditor's office to make sure that she had that and that that was in her budget for, ongoing, because it's just a need. I would say just about every department needs that little line item for overtime. And for them, for those full-time employees, they actually work 40 hours out there. So anything that they work over is time and a half.
Yeah.
That's much more than a lot of our offices that are only working 35. So, yeah.
Okay. Anything for Dottie? Anyone?
Great.
Well, that was quick.
I know, I told you I was going to be quick because I'm going to take up some time a little bit later with health
Right.
insurance. So give you guys back a little bit of your time and get some more things taken care of. So
Okay, we'll see you back after break.
you betcha. See you later.
Thanks, Dottie.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Ben's not coming in till 9, so let's clean up some miscellaneous payroll bi-weekly.
Move to approve payroll.
And I'll second.
A motion is second to approve payroll discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Payroll is approved. Claims. A chance to look over the claims.
Yep, they were in our email. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I did have a question. There was a claim, where was it, 400 and some thousand? Am I remembering that right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Pull it back up here.
Just curious.
Only 400 grand, Bill.
Yeah, it's only 400 grand. What the heck?
I know which one you're talking about,
It was under sheriff. No, it wasn't. That was another one I was thinking
Is
of.
that an insurance payment?
Well,
I know.
I should have wrote that down.
Hold on. Canteen food service was for the jail, 12,000. That was
There it is. GM Development Companies LLC, 4421010.
That's the draw for the building of the
Highway Department.
highway department.
GM Development is Greg Martz.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're our bot.
Yeah.
He's the gentleman that handled the bot on the project and everything.
We hadn't approved that, have we?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It's in
why.
that list of us to do, yeah. Yeah.
How much do we still owe them? Do we have that number handy?
Be interesting to know how much retainage we have
Right.
Yeah,
for the punch list stuff.
yeah.
I don't remember what the percentage was, because it was a percentage of the project,
5,
wasn't it?
I think.
Was it 5%?
I believe.
Okay. $414,154.51. That's coming out of ARP.
That's what this is. Oh, yeah.
Because the Medard's Water Care was in there also. Yeah, that'd be a nice water softener for the whole
Yeah.
city, or the whole county, yeah.
Okay. Let's do that first then, so we're in the proper order. I
Do you know
guess.
what our total is that we still owe on the project, or do you know even how to find that? Okay. Oh, okay. No, Susan knows right where to go in there. She just bing, 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 and. Sorry? Yeah, what our retainage is on that yet for punch list items. I was thinking it's 5%, but I could be wrong. Might be more than that, though, because what was the total project from?
We had 5% in contingency,
Yeah,
but we got
That's
more,
different
we
though
got
than
more
the-
than that in retainage.
yeah.
I would think 10%
Well,
is
here's-
the number I've heard,
Yeah.
and on at least another
Here's
project.
remaining balance. 1.307404.
It'd be 10%.
That's 10%.
Yeah, because it's a $10 million project. Which is a significant amount.
Yeah.
Should be
Well,
an
you want it
incentive
to be.
to complete the punch list.
Yeah. You know, they call them punch lists, but there's usually about 285 things on those, you know?
There's a few on it.
That's how those projects go, though. It's like when you build a house. You know how it is, like when you build a house, you see the frame come up, the roof's on, the windows go, and you think, boy, this will be done next month. 10 months later, you know. Yeah, last draw, 1.307.
Yeah.
I think we can approve it knowing that we have
Yeah.
1.3 million. That looks right to me. What happens to the contingency money if we don't use it? Does it return to us?
It's ours.
It's ours to keep?
Yeah, it's ours.
Yeah. So it's not
We're
a
not
use it or
abandoned.
lose it type thing?
No, because we pulled it out of the bot.
Out of the
For
bot,
that
right?
reason,
Yeah.
and just used ARPA funds.
Yeah, which I'd be nice if we didn't have to use it.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we're in
We're gonna use it.
part of it already.
Yeah, right.
Motion to approve the payout.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to approve GM for their roll number 11, is it?
Yep,
Roll number 11.
I'll second.
A motion and a second on the floor. Additional comments? Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the same. Pay the people. Now we can do claims. Motion to approve claims.
Yes, so moved.
And second.
Motion and second to approve claims. Additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Claims are approved, ma'am. Minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
And I will second.
A motion and second on the floor to approve minutes. Comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Minutes are approved. That DART thing, should we wait on that? Okay. Mr. Ben, come on out, come on down. Put a bid on this project. I think you have a bid bond.
Morning, Ben. Yes, anyway.
Finally got warm out.
Yes, it did. Turn the spigot off and we'll be in good shape, right?
Right. Right. Kinds of junk in here. Okay, so first thing I have this morning on our truck bids. Went through that with the shop foreman, Mark and I. There was a few minor details in there that they wasn't able to comply with on our specs. It was pretty minimal. The only one that was a misunderstanding for what we wanted to the bidder was on the rear shocks of the trucks. They just put it on one axle instead of two. So to add that to that other axle is an additional cost of $168. So it'd make the truck bid from $167,200 to $167,368.
Why wouldn't they put a second shock on the rear axle?
I don't know.
Just a spring then on it, is all that's on it?
No, that's yeah, on the back one, yeah.
Yeah, really?
It'll be the I think the airbag.
Yeah.
Those
And the
airbags?
springs, right. What's that?
Say those are airbag or walking?
I believe
beam?
there's an airbag and a shock. I'm not the mechanic. You'd have to ask Dusty.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, you probably
But-
keep that wheel from shattering.
Yeah, I would think so. Shock dampens it out to,
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It was on one and not the other. So I know Dusty requested it to be on both, so.
I think it's a good idea.
But other than that, everything else was fine. Delivery date's still a question, but I guess we got to start somewhere.
And a reminder, that's for two trucks, but one's a year out, one's 2 years out.
Well, they both will be,
Well,
More than a year.
they both will come in about the same time, I'm guessing.
oh, would they?
Yeah, but it'll probably be a year and a half, I'm guessing. So is what we'll do, we'll incorporate the money budgeted for this year.
The first one,
Yep, and then I'll budget one for next year,
okay.
pay for them.
You foresee anything else to be budgeted for as far as equipment the next year or two?
Yeah. We've got all kinds of equipment we got to change, but, I'm gonna see I'm waiting on to get with Susan and the financial advisor on some of our projections to get my budget wrapped up and see what we have left, and we just might have to do some smaller equipment exchanges. You know, we're getting up for another more replacement. We've always got stuff to try to update, and just depends what assets we have left. Trucks are the main priority. You know, unfortunately, they're one of the most expensive as well,
Yeah.
so.
I see they're out mowing roadside.
Yeah, they started their third week.
Yeah. Is it really?
They started, is that right? Second full week, yeah. So they got 2.5 weeks they've been out. It took off and it grew
Yeah, crazy.
fast.
Can you explain to me the bond issue on these trucks? I guess I don't understand why we need a bond.
Anything over 150,000, we're supposed to have a bid bond on,
We are, okay. And who pays that fee for the bond?
probably in the cost.
It's in the cost? Okay, I didn't see it in the contract. The contract was so long, or the specs on it, I didn't,
They won't never include it, just a separate
It's
line
not
item for it.
itemized, it's
just part of the package. Okay.
Yep,
just figured in the profit side.
yep.
All right.
We pay for all the maintenance bonds and bid bonds and performance bonds, that's all in the price. You
Right.
just don't.
I'd never heard of it on a purchase of a vehicle. I've seen it on roads, you know, there's a bond there on the performance or maintenance.
Yeah,
but
most of our vehicles we buy aren't that type of money.
yeah, no, they're $100,000 and these are $350 when they're, well, the truck's what, 100 and
160,
then double that to
67,
complete it.
368,
Yeah, okay, so that's what that's for then.
right.
All right.
Okay.
So if you guys are okay, I Probably make a recommendation that we move forward with signing the bid to purchase 2 trucks from Stoops.
Oops. Entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion that we proceed with purchasing 2 truck chassis from Stoops.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second on the floor. Are there any additional comments from anyone? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. Motion is approved. Get them ordered, I guess, Ben.
I've got some papers for you to sign, Bill.
And I think I have it. Double check. I think I might have what you need for him to sign.
Oh, it's up to you.
Or he can
I
sign
need
both,
this
and you
too.
can
If you
just
want to
take a
sign both of
copy.
them, then we'll have them.
Yep,
I can do that.
yep.
So on the Form 95, all 3 can sign. And then on the quote, just Commissioner President can sign and date.
It's 20th. All day.
I think that's all of it. And then in that motion, you guys approve for the additional 168. You need to specify that, but, so the truck price would be $167,368 per truck.
Plus the shocks on it, right?
That's
No,
with
that
that.
includes the
Oh, that
shocks.
includes the shocks, okay.
167, 368.
Is the standard to build them without rear shocks on that tag axle? Like, call it a tag axle, it's not a tag axle, but,
I would
is that
assume
normal?
so.
Yeah,
I would have to ask.
just seems like you'd want that to dampen it out instead of it floating back here.
People do things different
Yeah.
all the time. They just,
Ben, can you send those to me? When you're done?
I'm surprised it's only
Thank
that
you.
much more to put a set of shocks on the rear. I mean, it's cheap,
right,
if you really think about it.
right. Okay.
Take it to Monroe and have them put them on later. Put this on your left. Fill it full of gravel first.
What else you got, Ben?
I sent you guys the service contract from Priority One
Right.
for fire protection at the new highway. You guys have any questions on that? Did you look through it?
Pretty good company. We use them for alarm system, and they've always been quick to rectify issues, and pretty happy with them.
That's who Weller recommended as well. Was them. I've never worked with any of them. The lady did call me a couple weeks ago, went over some of this with me, and she sounded real helpful, and I see the cost was $600 a year for that service. So, which probably is, I imagine, is about the going rate, I imagine.
Yeah, it's $50 a month, basically, right?
Basically.
Yeah. And they
So-
monitor it for that, too, if it,
Yeah, that's
you know,
all
you get a
monitored.
water leak, or, yeah.
That goes to them, and then they dispatch
Yeah.
accordingly.
Yeah, they do a good job. I'd make a motion to approve the contract of Priority One for $600 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I will second.
A motion second on the floor. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion is approved.
Susan had made a note that she would like a separate motion to approve what was it, the bid bond? Nothing to
Oh.
sign, but we might as well do it just to make sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of accept it along with it, but let's do a specific motion if that's what you wanted.
I'd make a motion to approve the bid bond for the trucks through Stoops.
Motion and second to approve bid bond. Comments?
You're welcome.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Motion is approved. It has been signed, so we're all set.
See this one then.
Next,
So if you want to sign this monitoring service agreement, be here on the bottom right by subscriber.
That's just for Bill, right?
Yep.
Subscriber there.
Okay, yep.
that or goes back. I was just zipping along here.
Yes, sir.
Little FYI, while you're stacking things away, was by the highway department Saturday morning. And there was a bunch of guys standing out the front of the building there and a couple of vehicles. What the heck's going on? So I turned around, swung back in. They were doing the coating on that roof
Oh,
Saturday.
were they? Good.
Yeah, it was dry. They was just waiting for the dew to melt off, or to evaporate off. So it was calm and dry and no cars around to get any overspray on. So
Great.
that roof should be quoted as we,
Yeah, I knew they was working on it. I didn't get out there, but
yeah.
I knew they was gonna work
Said-
on it this weekend.
Well, they've had so many days they couldn't get to it, probably days they couldn't do nothing. I guess they figured, what the heck, they'd do it on Saturday.
Did we resolve the tank issue for sure? Do we know? The fuel tank issue, did we resolve it for sure?
Sounds like it.
They are gonna just go with the wider tank that's not as long, our same length, right? Just go
Yeah.
wider and remove those
Right.
items that are in the way?
My understanding, yes.
That's, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it may be, they're talking to a different tank supplier as far as replacing that one, which, just as long as it fits, I don't think it matters, but,
Okay.
and then they will remove the ballards on the south side, replace them with removable ballards,
Ballards are the things that, the crash blocks, right? Yeah, okay.
and that way, if something happens again, those will be removable, won't have to be cut off.
Makes sense.
But that was last correspondence I had, yes.
Let's hope we don't have to move the tank again.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Not in our lifetime.
No,
Right, right.
we'll just stick another tank above it and build another canopy above that.
Just gravity feed.
Yeah, there you are. That'd work.
Yeah, all the old tanks.
Yeah.
In the old day were gravity feed.
Oh, yeah.
Farm tanks.
Put up on stands.
Oh, yes.
Those would be big stands for 12,000 gallons,
Big stand.
100,000 pounds there.
Yeah, buddy. So I haven't heard anything else as far as delivery on the switch or anything like that. Last I know, it's still
What's the
you know,
switch?
the transfer switch.
Oh,
for
the three-phase?
Three-phase,
Okay.
yes.
Was that the 26th supposed to be shipped?
Be next week. I know it'll be this week,
Yeah.
this Thursday. Supposed to be. I have not heard elsewise, so hopefully that comes and gets installed and haven't heard anything on delivery of the steel for the pole barn yet.
That's odd.
And
Who's producing the steel? Is that coming from Nucor?
it is now, yes.
Reason why I talked to someone that works at Nucor, and he said they're slow. Their business is slowed down immensely, and they're going to 3 days, I believe, at building systems. Yeah.
Really?
The project pipeline really cut off for them. So
Interesting.
it seems like they should be able to, I'm pretty sure it was the building system side,
I was told
not
The
the
last-
Joyce people, but
the last meeting that it was Nucor guys was out there just before we got there. The steel was coming from them. They
okay,
were supposed to have figured it up in all the corners and J and
all right.
which they look at their inventory out there, they've got quite a bit of that already, but
Yeah,
so.
Well,
Power
hopefully we see
washer's there,
steel.
power washer's there and getting installed, hose reels are getting installed.
good.
Prager get to you on that soap?
Yes,
Did he?
yep, got it taken care of.
I forgot to mention that to you the other day, Thursday.
Yeah, he called me Tuesday? I forget what day it was he called, Wednesday maybe? Maybe it was Thursday. My days are running together.
Yeah, because it was Thursday
day
I
they called?
talked to him and he.
Then it was
even-
Thursday, he might have called me then.
Must have been.
But yeah, I spoke to him on the phone and got that squared away.
Good, good.
Things are going, it's just, we've been out there working a lot in the offices, getting things corrected and replaced and updated, and probably be out there again this week.
Yeah.
That way-
Ben was putting up ceiling tile and his assistant was putting in door runners.
Putting in what?
Door runners
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
door track and
on
hinges
the
and-
tracks on those vanities.
And, yeah, I got more lights to put up, got the toilets to put in. We're gaining.
How long before we get our desks that you need and our storage shelves for the parts room storage shelves and the
Ones for
desks?
the part rooms has came.
They are? Good.
The other ones has not come yet, and then the tables and stuff hasn't come yet. But we did get all the ones for the parts room that's delivered.
Good.
I'm kind of waiting on the go-ahead from FCI before I take anything out there and set it up.
Yeah.
That will be inside.
You're gonna install it yourself, right? Put it together yourself? Okay.
As soon as I get the go-ahead from them, I'll go out there and we'll chalk line the floor and start putting them together.
Good.
Guys are working pretty heavily out back, getting the pad put up, base down for the storage lot. And they started last week, Wednesday and Thursday, they worked on the pad that we're gonna pave for the sand. They got that cut out and starting to get the pad built. And then we gotta get that cut out front, and then we'll get those paved here soon.
Great.
With that new paver.
Yeah, I hope everything works
That
all
new
right.
used paver.
Yeah, we haven't paved with it yet. Hopefully it's,
Does it operate about the same? I mean, is it pretty intuitive how those work? Are they all kind of alike?
them older
or
ones like that
Yeah.
are pretty similar, yes. I suppose the newer ones are a lot more,
Probably touchscreen in the new ones?
probably,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Still pretty much mechanical.
I like that, though. You can fix that.
right, right.
Right.
So I'm still working on the County, just give you an update on the County Road 23 project. The survey is complete. Angie got with me on that. I sent that off to BF&S for appraisals, for property appraisals. We got to have that appraised and see about having them do that possibly. And then, once that gets done, I thought maybe get with Andrew Cruz, see if he wanted to do the deed on it, or if I need to have someone else do that.
Yeah, we can do deeds easily.
Okay. We'll have to have that done once the survey's done, but once we get the appraisal and get the agreed purchase price done.
How much land are we talking on this project?
What's that?
How much land are we talking on this project, or how many owners?
This one owner, but there's 4 parcels,
Okay,
or 3 parcels, and it was 0.355 acre is what it ended up being for the survey.
yeah, but if we get it surveyed off, then, yeah. Then there'll be a legal description to go from.
Right. So that's progressing. I told everybody that's working on it, just, it wasn't no rush, at their leisure. That way hopefully keep our costs down on it, because that wasn't gonna get done this year anyways, our construction site anyway, so. But it's progressing.
Good.
So I don't think I have anything else for you guys today.
Is that it?
I believe so. Hopefully I didn't forget anything.
We got an email from Reinhardt on that culvert there on, is it 65, the road we abandoned?
Okay,
And he's still asking about that culvert. It's plugged, but it's a private culvert, right?
right.
That's what I thought. I thought he got that message, but evidently we
Well,
had
he-
to
Did he call
clarify
or
that.
come down? Because Mark talked to him, because Mark went out and worked on that.
Yeah, he cleaned that ditch out.
But the culvert is, I think the name of the people up there,
Oh, yeah.
up around the corner.
I don't remember either.
I know we have not maintained that in 25 years. Because I had one of my employees has been here 25 years, and he was up in that area, and he said they have never maintained that.
But wouldn't there be a document showing we abandoned it? I think that's what he's looking for.
That's
It's
what he's
just-
looking for, and I haven't.
Which I don't disagree with him necessarily. I mean,
Yeah.
'Cause the
Susan
neighbor-
just said she hasn't found anything yet.
yeah.
The neighbor that lives up there, up the hill, contacted me several years ago because Reinhardt was using that drive. And it's their driveway. when he has access off of 24, plenty of road frontage, he's using that driveway and just causing a little bit of a dispute up there with the neighbors. And that's
Yeah.
what stemmed it back when. But I have not seen that. I don't even know where to, I don't have it in my file, and then it's not, everything is scanned on the intranet. It may be here. I do have a copy of a deed, a right-of-way, was it right-of-way deed or right-of-way to that owner up there that was done in, last time this come up, 2020, maybe? I think that's the time we talked about it before. An easement, and maybe it was done as an easement. I got it. I did get it from the recorder
It is recorded as an easement.
for them to use it, but it's, I'd have to look at it again. I wasn't prepared for it, I'd have brought it with me,
Right,
but
right.
I don't know if it's signified who the owner was of it or not.
What would be our next step? Do we do an abandoned process on that, or?
Well, I mean, is this, you were talking about a driveway and a culvert, but I don't understand, I didn't understand, you talked about two neighbors, but does the county own some of that or not?
The only spot the county has at this point would be along County Road 24 in the road right-of-way.
Okay,
But any access point per our ordinance that goes to a property, the culvert is the owner, or that belongs to the property owner and is the owner's
Right.
to maintain. He
Okay.
is claiming that this would have been County Road 65. It's not on my inventory, and
okay, is this, somebody came and talked about County Road 65, I didn't realize this was the same thing as what they had talked about there.
Lynn Reinhardt?
So, County Road 65 was a road at some point in time or not, like a dirt road, and it just
I
got
couldn't-
abandoned, or we
It
don't
hasn't
know?
been as long as for at least 25 years. County's never maintained it, never done anything with it. It goes back to a property. It basically goes back to the house.
So they plow it themselves and everything then, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a private, almost say it's a private road.
Private driveway.
Yeah.
I mean, unless someone has evidence that the county has accepted it as a road, there's nothing for us to abandon, right? If I'm thinking, you know what I mean, what I'm saying, like if we don't have
It may
evidence
have
that
been
it's an
ours.
actual
so,
road.
You know, at one point in time, all the roads was dedicated to the county
Right.
back in whatever year, early 1900s or whatever.
Including that stretch? Or you don't know?
We don't know.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. All the roads back at some point was dedicated to the county for public use.
yes.
But I have.
But not all the roads were.
No, because I just went through
made.
this.
I mean,
In the last 5 to 6 years, the state sent me a whole list of roads that we had that, on our inventory, that wasn't even a road there.
okay.
You know, so this has happened in the past, but I don't know about this particular.
Like County Road 62 and County Road 64 out where I live, there'll be stretches of them that go, but they don't go all the way across the county.
Right.
Yeah.
The county doesn't own the land in those empty stretches, as far as I know. I mean, they're
Right.
not actual roads.
Like I said, this has been long enough ago that if there was ever anything done, or even if it ever was in our inventory, it may have been projected at some point to potentially been, but was
Right.
never actually dedicated to us, or I don't know that.
Could have been on, yeah.
Could have just been a futuristic plan that, hey, this will be County Road 65 at some point.
Has anyone ever provided any evidence to say that it is a county road in some county record somewhere?
No, I haven't
that you
seen,
know.
the only
Okay.
thing I've gotten is that recorded easement just recently from the recorder's office. I think was done in 2020.
Let me ask a dumb question. Is there a sign there saying that it's a road? There's no sign on the corner that shows it as a road?
No sign, no
And we've
stop
never
sign.
plowed it, right? So if we've never plowed it, and there's no sign shown as a road, that's kind of self-evident at that point, right?
I'd think 25 years of not doing something with it would be.
Because you would've got a gripe, hey, when you're plowing our road,
Right.
you know, so.
Right. But I mean, if in the 1950s it was accepted by the county as a
Right.
road, then I'd say it's a different
Right.
story. If we ever accepted it, then we might have to abandon it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that culvert restricting the flow of the county ditch, roadside ditch?
I would have to ask Mark again, verify. Mark went out
According
there.
to
and looked.
Mark, according to Lynn, it
It
is.
is, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think it is restricted, but I seemed like Mark told me that he tried to jet it and wouldn't open it up, couldn't get through it, if I
Do we
remember correctly.
require them to replace that culvert in that situation, or do we replace it and charge them for it if they refuse to replace it?
Through the drainage board, is that what you're thinking?
No.
It would be through the highway.
Be
We
through
could,
the highway, because
Okay.
it's a roadside culvert. It would be
It's
a
along.
roadside ditch.
Okay, so it's not just on that empty, just like, it's actually at the roadside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, driveway culvert,
yeah, it would be in County Road 24's roadway ditch, essentially.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Historically, we send a letter, let them know about it. Most of the time, people's replaced it.
Well, we sent a letter to that landowner that that culvert needs to be replaced. It's restricting the flow of that ditch,
Yeah, it makes sense.
and go from there.
And Lynn said the dip in the ditch helped. Lynn said the dip in the ditch
Yeah.
alleviated most of the flooding on his field, so that's at least a step in the right direction.
If it's stopping the flow of our drains, it'd
Right.
definitely be helpful to clean it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Replace
Correct
it.
it, I should say.
Anything else? That's all I had, by the way.
Oh, that's fine. I'll have to find out who to send that to.
Yeah.
I think it's owned by a different person other than the one that lives up there. I think that's why they got their right of way or easement through there.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Got a note on it.
Anything for Ben?
Well, I really had.
Okay, Ben.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you, guys.
Have a good day, good week.
Get out there and, I'm gonna get you those pictures yet, and then let's get some more since the roof's being painted, I'd like to get some more drone pictures out there, just to,
Hope they get the building painted maybe this week.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Might get some nice shots after that, and get that steel for the barn up. That's the one that's bothering me, but it's a lot of steel.
Yeah.
It'll go pretty quick.
Oh, yeah, we can probably knock it out in a couple days.
I see the fan folders there for the, under the steel.
The what's
Bunch
there?
of fan fold in that.
Oh, the insulation?
Yeah,
That's been there, yeah.
yeah.
That's been there for a while.
Has it? Okay. That goes underneath the steel, so that's
The roof.
sweat.
What's going in the building once it goes up?
We're gonna do a garden in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Petting zoo.
aquaponics or something?
Aquaponics.
Oh, well, hopefully not that.
No, it's where cold storage for like our vehicles that don't need to be in the warm storage, just
Okay.
keeps them out of the
Makes
weather.
Rollers, rollers,
Equipment.
Yeah.
Okay, yep, that makes sense.
mowing tractors, whatever. Yeah.
The other stuff you'd have to do up in Michigan.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the aquaponics was
like,
for,
please
was
don't
for
say that.
marijuana. You know. Grow marijuana.
Yeah, yep.
In case
That's
they
why I said
legalize it,
Michigan, so,
we'd be
yeah.
ahead of the game.
Yeah. Don't question all the skylights. thing.
Yeah, exactly. Why is your water bill 8 million gallons a month? Well, you know.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Ben.
All warmed up for you there, buddy.
Yeah. Come on and sit down, Chris.
It's Waterloo.
Have a seat.
Hi there.
Good morning.
Good
Hi,
morning.
Chris.
How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Morning, Chris.
Hi. How are you?
Fine.
I'm having a hard time counting this morning. Take one. Pass it around, please.
Yeah, there was a lot of verbiage in this.
There is. We're not proposing. I'm
Made
not
some
proposing to
changes.
change much.
Yeah.
This was last revised in 2014, I believe. We may have made some minor changes in 2020. But what I'm kind of here mostly to talk about, once I get through the couple of minor changes in the ordinance, is our fee schedule for the building department, which just includes the building permit fees. It doesn't include the improvement location permit fees. Those are approved and adopted by the Planning Commission. But the county building department fees, building permit fees are what you guys approve. So a couple of the minor changes. In in here in the one quote unquote major change on page 2 and the kind of the minor changes. We've never required the building permit to be posted to properties.
Right.
They can, but typically, I'd say 75% of them, they're so far off the road, they're not like living in town where you could see them. You can't see them anyway. We have people come to our office and complain that the building permits aren't posted for them to view. And, well, technically that would be trespassing anyway, if you go on, if you would go on somebody's property as a citizen and go view it, that's trespassing. But nonetheless, it's in the ordinance that we require it to be posted. I'm just proposing that we add a little language in there that says, or available for viewing when the inspector is on site, which he has his tablet and phone able to pull up permits anyway, so he doesn't need to see them. But if it is, it is. 4.10, I've got a copy here if you guys want it too. I printed one extra.
I got a
You have to
question.
share. Be nice to each other. Be nice to each other. Indiana has what's called the log cabin rule. And it's for people who are building their own home for themselves and they're not hiring any contractors. Anyway, I put that Indiana code in there if you want to look at it, but I added the information from the code that states private homes that are built by individuals and used for their own occupancy. However, on-site sewage systems of a private home described in this subsection must comply with state laws and rules. This applies to all structures that are located in proximity, incidental to, and within the same site as the primary residence. There was actually a lawsuit, I don't know what year this was, Andrew, I know I sent it to you.
Out of Noble County, wasn't
Out of Noble County, yeah. Where a man was building a barn for storage a mile from the house. And so is that incidental to the structure? And they actually said, no, it's not, but if it's within proximity of their residence, so I'm assuming if it's on the same parcel of land or close to, it can fall within that log cabin rule.
Could be a little bit down the road if you had the house down here, but you're on an 80
Right, I
acre
think it's up-
tracts and it's on the other end of the 80
I think
acre.
it's up to the building inspector to determine what that proximity is and
Discernment.
discern, yeah, and if there's issues with it, it'd probably come before the commissioners to get a reading, but so it's for any home and accessory building. If they're building it themselves and not hiring any contractors, we can, they don't need a building
Can I
permit.
ask you something real quick while I'm on that?
Yep.
Because the way I'm reading it, it says used for their own occupancy. However, right before the noble versus false thing there.
Yep.
It says must comply with the state laws and rules. This applies to all structures which are located in proximity, incidental, and within the same site as the primary residence.
Right.
So can the log cabin per se, let's say they're building for their own use, their own occupancy, not using contractors, can the main housing unit not need a building permit?
Yes.
Okay, I got a dumb question then. Why don't I just become a builder? I own the land, it's for my own use. I live there 2 weeks and then put it for sale. The next person that buys it.
That's a loophole that you could have.
That is a potential loophole. I don't know, I wouldn't advise people to go do that, but.
Well, I'm just saying, the
Yeah.
electrical doesn't have to be complied with, the
Yeah.
plumbing, the windows.
And
the
there's no
roof,
inspections.
And no
We
inspection.
don't do any inspections for these.
But the next person wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Because it'll be
That's
a.
true.
I know.
That's true.
I don't like this rule, to be honest with you.
It's a state law.
I know.
Unfortunately.
One of the
and-
benefit for it is people that are really mechanical and good at building building things can just go and build their own home and save the cost.
And you
Right.
can do the
I
same
know a
thing.
couple of people that have done that, but.
And you can do the same thing with a car. You can build your own car, get it licensed. It doesn't have to follow the bumper rule. Now, it
Really?
does have to have headlights and taillights, but it doesn't have to have airbags, anti-lock brakes, none of that, because you're
built it
not a
yourself.
manufacturer. It's for my own use.
Yeah.
But this could be a real problem in the future.
I agree. It could be a problem in the future especially if you're not, I would build a house. You wouldn't want to live in it after I would sell it to you.
Does
But
that have
typically
to
it's going
be
to,
100% safe built, self-built?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking the concrete, the basement, everything.
right.
How do you
so
enforce that,
If they,
though?
so we
Because-
tell, we they still have to fill out an improvement location permit. So we still have to, the zoning side of it for setbacks still has to be met. And we asked them at that point in time, you're not hiring any contract. And typically, it's the Amish community that are doing
Sure.
this. The English people, I will call us, is not, we're.
Most time.
Most time, when they're not requesting this.
Right.
But we let them know. Sure you're not hiring a concrete contractor. Sure you're not hiring an electrical contractor. If you do, it takes it out of the log cabin rule and requires the building permit.
Right.
And they say they aren't, and I trust
Sure.
that they're not. I mean,
it could be friends that they're
Yeah,
using or
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah,
to
yeah,
help,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
build the barn, like the whole families come on and help and that sort of
and that's
thing.
The friends that are concrete
But,
contractors
you know,
and roofers.
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. But yeah, I always wondered about this rule, because what happens if 5 years they sell it and
Not up to
we,
code.
it gets inspected and it's not meeting a building code?
Yeah.
You know, they would be required at that time, if they want to sell it to whoever's buying it,
I mean,
fix
don't-
it.
If they don't
But
have GFIs, if they don't have
Yeah.
whatever else.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
proper
saying.
Vetting and proper,
Yeah.
there's so many things that could be out of code.
yeah, it's interesting. We never had this in the building ordinance, and I wanted to get it added in so that staff knew what they are allowed to use as the log cabin rule. And really, it's anything that they're building themselves.
Right.
I
So-
think it stems from a very independent, libertarian type mindset that Indiana
Yes.
had over the years.
I have no problem with it. I just think when you go to sell it, that should have to be in your seller
That is,
disclosure,
yeah.
that this house does not comply with, building inspect,
Well, you have to disclose anything like that anyway. That's already real estate law.
yeah, that'd be if you hire a realtor, but I could sell it on my
Right.
own, and here's a sales disclosure,
Yeah.
goodbye,
The disclosures, they're still, even if it's a private seller, you still have to follow the disclosure laws.
Well, not necessarily. In other words, if I quit claim a house to you and you just agree to buy it, I quit claim the deed, you get it. And then you go to insure it though, and let's say the insurance company sends an inspector out and
The
says,
insurance company could have an issue with it.
yeah, and then
sure.
they're not gonna insure it, but I get what you're saying. With a realtor, of course, it'll be in the
Well, yeah,
contract.
yeah,
But if I just quit claim it to you and you hand me the cash, I've done it a lot of times, sold houses on a quit claim. It's just something in the future
It
that
makes
I
me
think could be a
nervous,
problem.
but I mean,
It's the
Yeah.
law,
I'm
as I
not,
understand it.
yeah, and I'm not gonna be having a house that I can't get a mortgage, or wouldn't need a mortgage on anyway, so I'm gonna have to have an inspection.
Yeah, right.
So-
And let's face it, the price of an inspection is minimal compared to the price
Yeah.
of
Oh,
a house.
Yeah,
So, you
yeah.
know,
Just something to think about.
Yeah.
But I get why they want to do it. If someone wants to build an accessory barn or the Amish, the Amish are going to build it
Yeah.
right most of the time and,
Yeah.
but anyway.
So this is
got
just
a
for
barn
discussion
completely
today.
myself, and I bought a permit.
Sure you did.
Yeah.
I permitted, I did it all,
You wouldn't have needed to, according to this.
yeah.
You wouldn't have needed to. If you're doing everything yourself, yeah. Yeah.
And pole barn, you didn't need a concrete contractor,
Yeah.
No.
didn't wire it,
Yeah.
didn't, but I could have. I have.
Yeah, you could have.
Does it still get taxed then?
Still gets taxed. So the improvement location permit, once they get their final report of closure, that's when we send it to the assessor's office. And then the assessor's office puts it within their system for assessing. So it still gets taxed and assessed and all that, but.
I didn't mean to hold you up on that.
No,
I just
you're
wanted
fine. No,
clarification.
I know. No, not a problem.
Okay.
This is just for discussion today anyway, so
Okay.
you're not voting on anything.
Okay.
The big meat of this discussion I wanted to have was about our building permit fees.
Yeah.
From what I can find, there's really not been any changes since 2007.
Okay.
And that's what we have in electronic files, like so Word documents. I don't know where old building department codes are, so who knows, there might be something older than that. It might be older than 2007. So our fees are, we did a comparison of the other counties surrounding us, LaGrange, Steuben, Noble, and Wells. And we are the lowest by far of what others charge. Again, I don't think that it means that we need to skyrocket our fees up to to be in line with LaGrange or Steuben. I did have a DeKalb County proposed within there. I had something to print off and I forgot it, but last year, and I can get this information to you next time too, or email it to you, based off of what we brought in building permit wise, fee wise. I think it was around like $56,000 in building permit fees. That doesn't begin to pay for, well, it begins to pay for, I guess, our building inspector, the truck, gas, fuel. I had all that written out. I'll email it to you guys so you can see. I think our, Jody, I don't know if you can pull it up or not, but what our fuel, I think, is $8,000 a year is what we have budgeted. Building inspector fees, or sorry, building inspector salary. You know, the new truck that we just bought 3 years ago and this year. So it can be argued that the building department and planning department could be self-funded by user fees of building permits, and then also applications to go before the Plan Commission, the Board of Zoning Appeals, the Plat Committee, or at least have a good chunk of the salaries of those two employees that are doing that work paid for through fees. That's a whole other discussion to have on then do you skyrocket your fees up to pay for all of these other things. But I think not having any fee increases since 2007 means it's time to look at that. I propose all the new residential construction doubling those fees from 5 cents per square foot to 10 cents per square foot. LaGrange and Steuben, they're at 15 cents and 14 cents a square foot. Noble and Wells are at 8 cents and 6 cents a square foot, and we were at 5 cents per square foot. I think doubling it to 10 cents a square foot makes sense with a minimum charge of $50. That would be for new construction, remodels, additions, and modular homes. Garages and sheds, I don't think we need to up the fees of those. I think a shed is typically going to be, it's going to hit that minimum fee of $25 anyway, because they're just so small. Sometimes they'll get up to $35 or $40. Residential swimming pools, I propose keeping those the same. Our neighbors surrounding us, they differentiate between above ground and in ground, but they're about the same price. Commercial new is something that I always thought was crazy, that it was the same price to build a commercial building for a permit.
Which is more
Same
intense.
as a residential. That never made sense to me. Especially because typically with a commercial building, our inspector's going out 4, 5, 6
Yeah.
times versus a residential home. They're typically going about three or four, depending on what they have done at that time. Electrical, just if you're running a new electric service, or just doing some new plumbing or roofing, I propose upping those, the electrical and plumbing up $5, and then our roof permits, doubling those. People only need permits for roofs if they're doing them with a contractor. So if you're doing a new roof yourself, you don't need a permit.
No permit at all.
Correct, if you're doing it yourself. If you're going and buying the materials at Home Depot or Menards or whatever. And
Most of
doing it yourself.
Michigan's that way too. You don't
Yeah.
need, unless you hire
Yeah.
someone and then you need,
Auburn doesn't even require roofing permits
really?
for anything,
Yeah.
commercial or if you're hiring it out or
Even
not.
if you'd- Okay, all right.
Yeah. That's something to think about too, if you want to do them. A foundation and a demolition permit, upping those $25 for the foundation. That'd be just strictly for a foundation. So if if you're wanting to do the foundation of the house first or commercial building first, because sometimes your state design release in a commercial building, they'll release the foundation permit first, and then
Okay.
while they're still working on the vertical construction permits, so we can issue a foundation permit for $75. Demolition, I propose doubling that. he does have to go out there, do a pre-demo check and then an after-demo check. So there's 2 inspections we do. Again, just helping cover these costs of, especially the increased cost of gas and a truck if we're gonna need a new truck every 3 or 4 years, makes me nervous. So anyway, for re-inspections, I don't think we've ever charged to go out and do a re-inspection, but we have the opportunity to if we need to. I haven't proposed changing those. But really just kind of wanted to get discussion going on a couple of minor changes and then the fee comparisons. Again, I'll email you guys kind of what it is we have as far as what we pay our building inspector, and what items he uses, cell phone, tablet, a truck, the gas, all that stuff. So I can get that to you so you can at least see, and then I'll get you what the information was on our last year's, what we brought in for fees. But
Any discussion as far as these fees? Is any other ideas or suggestions? Because I'm pretty much on board with what you're proposing.
Yeah.
The garage sheds, accessory buildings, that might be a little bit light, to be honest with you, but, you know,
I wouldn't mind seeing him upping the minimum charge, because he still does have to, if a shed is getting, if
Yeah.
you're bringing in a pre-built shed and it's coming in on skids and doesn't have a permanent foundation and it's under 300 square feet, you don't even need a building permit. But if it's 500 square feet, you're doing a concrete footer, he has to inspect the concrete
Have to
footer
inspect
and then the shed. If you're building the shed yourself or a garage yourself, he's still going out there and doing 3 or 4 inspections. So if you want to up that, I wouldn't mind seeing it, the minimum charge maybe getting raised.
But again, the shed could be log cabin rule if they're doing it all themselves.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
that would be the only thing I would
Okay, I'll take a look at those and.
maybe change.
I think I agree to that. I think that's,
The rest of it, I think, is right in line. You know, it's not excessive. Yeah, it's doubled, but it's still below some of the
Still
other
very,
counties.
well, compared to LaGrange
And we look
it's
at
free.
what's happened between 2007 and today.
I know.
Cost-wise.
Oh, it's doubled.
I mean, our cost to go out there and do this is
Yeah.
probably more than doubled, at least.
LaGrange is probably seeing a lot of log cabin rule stuff, I would think, and so they up their charges for everything else.
Maybe.
You know, just because all
Maybe.
the big
The
Amish
Amish, yeah. Yeah.
concentration there.
Okay.
All right.
Looks
Great.
good to me, Chris.
Okay. Well, I'll bring this back probably in a couple weeks with some, I'll email you the information and then I'll come back in a couple weeks with these revisions in a ordinance for Susan
Yeah,
or Jody, whoever's here.
we'll do it. I think it's fair and equitable.
So he's asking, is that, just come up and ask a question.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear it all.
Now, we'll take,
I heard in the black, but
Andrew Provines.
yeah.
I just wondered, like, okay, so based on the changes to the costs, have you done, like, say, last year or the year before, here's all the
No, but I
stuff we
could.
did? Will that put
How
us in
much
the
is that
black?
increasing?
Is that gonna, is that gonna allow us,
I'll
you
do
know,
that. That's a
extra
good
for a car
suggestion.
when you need it, cover the gas, et cetera? Like, is that enough change? Or would we, it'd just be nice to know those numbers a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
That's an easy thing that we can do because we've got all those permits
Yeah, I figured,
and at least get an idea of, is it close to getting us out of the red?
Right, and say like Nova, like with what they're doing, are they in the black or are they in the red or?
Yeah.
Just, it's good, be nice.
Good question.
yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Yep. Have a good week.
You
Have a
too.
good Memorial Day if I don't see you.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, we got 15 minutes to break. Can we dive into that DART vehicle lease? Let's jump into that. Party lease agreement. It seems like there's always something with DART. And it's always several pages of reading. And the blue pen.
Mostly look like to me standard language that can't really be changed, you know, standard subrecipient type contract language. The only thing I saw is it does say you have to, it looks like you have to garage the vehicles.
Which we do.
Do we do that? Do we have a big enough garage? They all
Yeah.
park in there overnight?
All of them are
Yeah.
garaged.
I thought there might be, but I just wanted to
A
check.
very nice new heated garage.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah, about 10 million BTU of heat out there.
Okay. There's supposedly a subrecipient project application and a agreement between subrecipient, which is us, I think, the county and the state, but and they didn't have those attached, but I assume those are just standard things that maybe we did 10 years ago when this all started. I'm fine with it, basically. And even if we don't like it, we can't do anything much about it.
Just opt out.
I'd make a motion to approve the third-party lease agreement for DeKalb County Council on Aging.
I will second.
A motion and second on the floor. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the same. Motion is approved. Ben.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, we still got highway draw. We did that.
We did the highway draw.
We do extension yearly MOU agreement approval and signature.
Just their annual MOU agreement.
Basically the same as last year, wasn't it?
Yep. We're going to approve the MOU with Purdue for the extension office.
And I'll second.
A motion and second on the floor. Any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, the same. Motion is approved.
Would you like to talk about the jail chiller now? Do we have time? Or the last thing is the BZA replacement? Chris might want to come in and talk to you about that a little bit. I can grab him.
I think we should do the chiller, get that out of the way.
Let's do the chiller. I think we can do that.
Yeah. I've looked at all the bids on the chiller, and Current Mechanical seems to be our best bid, and I think they can knock it out pretty quick from what I can say. They're all good, all three of them were great companies to work with, so, but I think,
Current's right, yeah.
yeah, Currents, I think Currents are, my opinion. You have any thought, Mike, Bill, on who you like?
I agree.
I'm fine, sure. I met the guy and very knowledgeable and easy to discuss the situation with, and so, yeah, I was impressed.
So I would, I'd make a motion to hire Current Mechanical to do both pumps as they outlined them in their proposal. And the one, so I'm clear, I think they're taking the original pump, the main pump out, rebuilding it, putting it in second place for a backup pump, and a new pump's going in for the main unit.
Right.
Plus all the piping and valves that are needed in that area.
Right.
And,
What I understand.
and the total was what, 32,000, I think, for both of them, through them roughly?
33,902.
Okay. And I
Okay.
believe Felger upped theirs to around 40,000 on their second round. And I
Yeah, it's
believe-
enough difference to,
Yeah, and then the other folks were, I think, 36 or 37, so I think currents are, I'd make a motion to approve the current proposal as
Okay.
proposed for both options.
And I will second that.
a motion and second on the floor. Are there any additional comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same. Motion is approved. Current mechanical. We need to notify the sheriff to contact them, I assume. You take care of that? Okay. Well, start break early.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Got a lot of coffee, I think it'll help. You gonna hit the stop button on there?
Yeah, I'm trying, it's attempting to,
Oh, okay.
it's trying to
No,
stop.
that's fine, I just wanted to make sure.